In this video, I would like to talk about MAC address table. Well, in order to explain what is MAC address table, I would like to do it, apply that in a scenario that we were working on it. So let's say I want to ping PC3 from PC1. So I will go to the command prompt and ping PC3, which its IP address is 10.0.0.3. As you can see, I was able to ping my PC3 for sure. All the IP addresses were set before. However, I didn't set any IP addresses on the switches. There is no problem, still it is working. So I could ping from PC1 to PC3 via ICMP. So in order to explain you what is MAC address table, I will go to S1 and I will go to the privilege exec mode and I will write show MAC address table. I just use tab to complete it for me. So this command is going to show me the MAC address table of my switch. When I enter, I can see that I have 3 entries into my table. So what basically this MAC address table is going to show me? This MAC address table on S1 is going to show me that my switch knows these MAC addresses. So based on the result that I got, I can see that the device which is connected to Fast Ethernet 0/1 has the MAC address of this value. So as you can see in the scenario, S1 Fast Ethernet 0/1 is connected to PC1. Well, let's check the PC1's MAC address. In order to check the MAC address of PC1, I can simply write ipconfig/all. As you can see, the physical address is shown over here. Let me try to bring both. Sorry. Here we go. So as you can see over here, the MAC address, which is connected to Fast Ethernet 0/1 of S1, belongs to PC1. And if you compare this one with this one, is the same, 00A, F3E8, EB57. However, you see here is capital letter, here is a small letter. That is not a big issue. So as you can see, MAC address table of S1 basically is saying the device which is connected to a specific port, which MAC address has. So based on the information that I got, I ping from PC1 to PC3. So for sure, S1 through the packet that PC1 is sending is going to learn the MAC address of PC1. And here we go. This is the MAC address of PC1 that S1 learned it. And then for sure S1 is going to send it to PC3. However, before sending the packet to PC3, he didn't know what is the MAC address of PC3. So for sure, he flooded out to all ports, which means Fast Ethernet 0/2 and Gigabit Ethernet 0/1. And at the end, S1 learned the MAC address of PC3 through ARP. If you have problem with ARP, don't forget to watch my video regarding ARP. So, as I mentioned before, S1 right now know the MAC address of PC3. PC3 is connected to S1 through Gigabit Ethernet 0/1. That's right, it's not directly connected to PC3. However, this is the only way that S1 can go to PC3. So Gigabit Ethernet 0/1 has to contain the MAC address of PC3. So as you can see, I can see two MAC addresses for gigabit Ethernet 0/1. Yes, on the way we had switch S2. So the MAC address of S2 is learned by S1 as well. So one of these MAC addresses belong to S2 and one of these MAC addresses belong to PC3. I don't know yet, so I can verify it. I go to PC3 again, and I will go to the command prompt and say ipconfig/all, and I need to bring up PC1 again. Okay, as you can see, I have 1D62 at the end for MAC address of PC3, and 1D62, as you can see, is learned by S1. So let's see that in the simulation scenario. So first of all, before going to the simulation scenario, I will make sure to clear the MAC address table on S1. So first of all, change the host name first, and then so clear MAC address. Sorry, I have to be in privileged exec mode. I forgot, sorry. Clear MAC address table. And I'm gonna make sure that it is completely clear by showing show MAC address table. And as you can see, okay, once again, I'm going to clear it. Okay, as you can see, my MAC address table is completely empty. There is no entry below MAC addresses. This is the time I go to the simulation. Again, I'm going to delete all filters. I'm just going to show ICMP. So I'm going to ping from PC1 to PC3. So I just use up arrow, and as you can see, it says ping 10.0.0.3, which is the IP address for PC3. I enter. At this time, since we are in the simulation mode, we have to forward the packet and see it step by step. So I'll forward it. The packet which is arrived to S1 contains the source MAC address of PC1 for sure. However, S1, as we saw before, the MAC address table of S1 was empty. And it doesn't contain the MAC address of PC3. So since S1 doesn't know what is the MAC address of PC3, S1 is going to flood it out to all ports except the ingress port. And as you can see, S1 does that. However, PC2 received it and say, hey, the MAC address is not mine. So PC2 is not going to accept it, it's going to drop the packet. The packet which is arrived to S2 wants to go to PC3. However, S2 doesn't know what is the MAC address of PC3, so it is going to flood it out to all ports except the ingress port as well. So as you can see, S2 flooded out to PC3 and PC4. Right now, PC3 is going to reply back to PC1. This time, S2 knows what is the MAC address of PC1 because it learned it from the packet that previously initiated from PC1. So since he knows what is the MAC address of PC1, and also S1 is going to just send a unicast message. And everything else is going to be unicast. As you can see, the packet received by PC1. So at this time, we can check the MAC address table of S1 and S2. For sure, these two has to know about the MAC addresses of PC1 and PC3. So let's take a look. So show MAC address table. So as you can see, I can see two MAC addresses over here. One belongs to gigabit Ethernet 0/1, and 1 belongs to fast Ethernet 0/1. Let's do the same thing. Show MAC address dash table. As you can see, S2 also knows about 2 MAC addresses. So let's practice something else. Let's exit the simulation and go to the real time. At this time, I want to again clear my MAC address table. I will use up arrow, clear my MAC address table, and again, once again, always show MAC address table to make sure that your MAC address table is completely empty. The same thing over here. Clear MAC address table, show, and it is completely empty. Once you are sure the MAC addresses are empty, I'm going to ping from PC2 to PC3 and PC4 this time. So what I'm going to do in command prompt, I'm going to write ping 10003, which is PC3. And after that, I will write 10004, which is related to PC4. So all the pings are successful. So I would like to check the MAC address table on S1. So I expect that S1 should know about the MAC addresses of PC2, PC3, and PC4. So let's check it. Show MAC-address-table. As you can see, we have 4 MAC addresses. So I brought the MAC addresses of PC2, PC3, and PC4. I copied them into a notepad, and I have the MAC address table on S1. If you compare it, I can see the MAC address of 00498879300, which is related to fast Ethernet 0/2, which is connected to PC2. And if you check, the MAC address of PC2 is completely matched. Now I can see the MAC addresses of PC3 and PC4, which are under Gigabit Ethernet 0/1. 1D62 is connected to Gigabit Ethernet 0/1, and 7E9E is connected to Gigabit Ethernet 0/1. So what does that mean? It means in case S1 wants to go to the destination MAC address of PC3 and PC4, he needs to use the egress port of Gigabit Ethernet 0/1. And yes, that is fine. So each port of switch can take multiple MAC addresses, as you can see over here. So in this video, I showed it to you how you can see the MAC address table of on the switches, and also how you can clear it, and what will happen if switch doesn't know the MAC address of destination. Thank you so much for watching this video.